How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS preview. We have Martinsville for the Cup Series. I am your host, TK Nation 47, joined here with Mega Ruler 31. How are you doing this morning, Andrew? You ready for some racing?
Well, I hope. It's just been very, very disheartening. I was thinking about my background here. I picked the Paperclip because that's the nickname of Martinsville, but I was thinking about putting a broken heart and a duck with a rain boots on or something. Just
Yeah.
last night, it was a good race, and even though I had a lot of shares of
Almendinger.
Almendinger.
Yeah.
I just AJA is the abbreviation. I never really, I can't spell his last name, so that's why I never write it out. But anyways, it looked like they were figuring out fixing it. There's so many cautions. He was going to get back on the lead lap, but it was good to see Barry and Jones and some other guys that we called out that I have in my lineup that were good value plays up in the front. Looked like again, there's still a lot to go to that race, but had they made it just a little bit longer, it might have been really good. But we'll see when they finish it up. Hopefully they get this in tonight as planned and then finish that one up tomorrow at noon. But, they probably should have just tried to finish it today, get what they could, and then just postpone, the Cup one till tomorrow when the weather looks better. But we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. I don't know what it is with NASCAR and these decision making. But it's pretty piss poor if you ask me. I was really looking forward to finishing this race at noon. And even if you do finish this race at noon, you probably get, and then you have to move all the haulers out and all that logistical issue. You're going to have to do that either Sunday or today. So I don't understand why they didn't just finish the race at noon today and try to get what they could out of their Cup race. And I don't know. It's a mess. It's hard when it rains at Martinsville because of the infield logistical issues and everything like that. So hopefully they get this
high school football field, right?
Exactly. It's so small. You can only fit one circuit in at a time. I get that. So with that being said, and we'll see how luck changes throughout the day. There is a 80% chance of rain here tonight. But they could get pushed to Sunday, probably Sunday night, because you already have to finish the Xfinity series, unless they make a quick decision here in the next coming hours. We'll see. But yeah, I agree. Probably not going to get this race in today. Probably going to see it Sunday. But we pretty much have our pool narrowed down. We're just going to run through what we do usually, run through the field here, give you guys some fades, some plays, some picks, values, and sleepers, and all that good stuff. So let's get into it, Mega. We're starting off with the pole sitter, Joey Logano, 10-7. Typically a really good Martinsville racer. How you feeling about Joey? Are you going to be in on Joey Logano?
I'm going to have a little bit. He's not going to be my primary dominator. I did see how Harrison Burton got off the pole and got out ahead, and then everybody else was kind of rubbing behind him, holding them up, and he was able to clear. The same thing, it seemed like on most of the restarts.
Yeah.
The person that had the pole on the inside was able to kind of get out. The other guys were kind of fighting for a position behind. So I think he'll get out and lead some laps. Price isn't super high. It's not like they priced him up at 14 or
Sure.
13, like something like really outrageous. So I think he's going to definitely be highly owned and definitely a good play. But I've got two other guys I think I'm going to lean on a little bit more, but I definitely will have shares.
Absolutely, me too. Joey Logano has a really good history here at Martinsville. Even if he's running inside the top 5 with a lot of lead laps, a lot of fastest laps, he could still pay off his value. And if he drops off at anything past, the 5th to 10th position, you're kind of looking at a dead pick. So I think GPPs, you could even probably make it a cash play too if you wanted. But
yeah, it's safe with the
track
record and everything. So
yeah, Joey's good this week. Denny Hamlin at 10-4. Any shares for Denny?
GPP maybe mix in a little bit in case he gets out early and leads. We've seen him happen before. He's kind of like Harvick, nails the setup or doesn't. You would think it's a good team with lots of notes. One of his teammates, which we'll get to in a little bit, is a very good racer here. So maybe they share. I don't know. In Xfinity, we talked about like the Klua guys sharing notes from Allmendinger and it kind of helping out like the rest of the team. But I don't know how much like Gibbs shares notes. I think they're kind of all like independent guys. Hemrick, it definitely, as a parent, not that Hemrick's a team to focus on this race, but like races where they do run well, it does seem like throughout that garage. And I don't know if it's because Canales is like the president now and like helping to oversee like the setup of all the cars and like the wonderful things he's done with Johnson and Byron and some of the other people he's worked with. But again, GPP, I definitely, don't hate him. It's just, I don't know if he's going to get out there and lead laps. If he doesn't have the right setup, then I can't risk it in cash.
I agree. William Byron, 8-7, mentioned he is starting third. Any love for William Byron, or is he starting too high?
He's starting too high. GPP play, he'll be low again. Like I said, he has shown some speed on some short tracks, but I think there's about 5 or 6 drivers I like better, which pushes him down. And if he doesn't get out there and lead, then 87 is not horrible to eat the salary, but in cash, no.
See, I think William Byron's going to be starting in that third slot right behind Joey Logano. So he's going to get some average run time inside the top 5. So for that reason, I could understand playing him, thinking, okay, maybe he's going to have a better setup than Joey Logano off the hauler.
I think the fifth guy's going to dive below him and before he can even blink in front of him, but we'll get that in a second. Already mapped it out in my head.
All right, so he's got it mapped out. We got Ryan Blaney at 10-1, starting 4th. Probably going to be starting on the outside lane. Is there any chance Ryan Blaney can get out to a jump? I like him. I like him on this track, though. He's really good at Martinsville.
Yes, yeah, and I think he's a good play, and he'll get up there. And if he works,
I just wish he wasn't starting 4th.
Right. He just needs to get by Hamlin, and then I see him maybe in 2nd, and it depends on long run. But in this race, will we have long run? These guys are more experienced, so potentially, but you do have some rookies who haven't like really run here too much. I think like Anthony Alfredo, who was in Xfinity last year but never ran at Martinsville, so he can't handle the first couple of turns, and all of a sudden we're like restarting again, and everything's shook up. So yes, definitely like him. Definitely suits his style for track wise. Play him a little bit in cash. I think I like him more on FanDuel than DK, because looking at the builds, for cash, I can probably get like 3 high price guys there with their pricing. But on DK, if I have to make the decision, I think, again, I'm looking at 2 guys that I really want to go in. And it just doesn't work salary wise.
Yeah, one thing about Ryan Blaney is every time he calls the race before, he wins. Sure. He wins the next race. So look out for Blaney tomorrow. I mean, I like him for.
I don't think Austin Dillon's winning this one though.
No, God no. And maybe it doesn't count since they didn't get to finish as well. But
he's gonna lead half the race, and then
that's it.
That's it.
That's it. We got Chase Elliott. I have a feeling this is your guy you've been circling. 11-4, pretty high price tag, but this is a guy that has dominated Martinsville for the past couple of years.
Yes.
So this is the guy.
Yeah, and I see him being aggressive in the beginning and kind of diving down, getting around Byron, his teammate, and being able to get up there and lead laps and probably a multitude of laps here. So
Chase Elliott sets up really well as the dominator for this race, starting up pretty high. I think it's not going to take long for him to get up to Logano and eventually take over for Logano. Chase Elliott has really good long run speed here. I think it was last year's race, right, where he pretty much wiped the field clean with his car. I was watching a lot of the radioactives during the rain delay. He's got a
but
what
one of them, like when they had I believe it's the high downforce package, like you just physically couldn't pass. And maybe that's the one Keselowski one. There's one of them, it was like a 19 that like the people dominated up front because the cars could not get past one another, just the way they were set up. But this is different. So we saw passing last night. So
Okay, yeah. Yeah, like I was saying, I watch a lot of the radioactives, and Chase Elliott's had a decent car here for the past 5 years, so I could understand. This is where Elliott gets back into maybe the winner's circle come end of the race. Next up, we have Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 5'8". This is
This is
total fade.
clickbait.
Yeah, I'm not
You see the
buying it.
5'8" and you're like, wow, that's cheap. But yeah, I maybe, but
Nah,
yeah,
there is.
he's gotten better though. You know, he's
Yeah,
actually rounding into a decent driver, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know, the pricing is so tempting, but no, I'm just not going to do it. No.
Ricky Stenhouse. There's a thing going out there that the most of the top 10 usually finishes inside the top 10. That's probably going to be this is probably going to be the one outlier that doesn't. So I'm out on Ricky Stenhouse. Next up, you have Martin Truex Jr., the highest priced driver in the field at 12K. Any love for Martin Truex Jr.?
Absolutely. He's my favorite guy, and even more than Chase Elliott. And just look at this like inside line. You have
Mm-hmm.
Logano, Byron, who we said is okay, Elliott, and Truex. That
Yeah.
is going to be an amazing fight to get out front first. And I could see, these four guys just kind of, if Hamlin doesn't have the right setup and you have Stenhouse in there too, just maybe get out there. But Truex, I think even if he doesn't get the lead, he'll be sniffing up front. And I think through like pit strategy and stuff that he'll be able to get up there. So the one thing is to talk about, especially with a small track, small pit, Logano definitely has the advantage there. Also having the number one
Yep.
stall, drawing the number one, your pit stalls are in order of your qualifying position, which I mean, I know they didn't qualify for this. It was kind of like a mathematical formula, but still
Yeah.
advantage for him. So yes, definitely like Truex. So Truex and Elliott are who I'm pretty much building around. And like I said, I will rotate, and we've talked about this in many videos before in the Xfinity one also. I will find my core of my floor guys, and then, I will rotate and probably like a 20 max, like the chrome horn or something like that, $4, where you're spending like $80 and, you can win like 40 grand or something like that if you hit the magic combination. But still just mix in these guys up top until you've got like all the feasible combinations that you feel comfortable with your floor guys. And then if you get the two dominators, you're good. But I
Yeah.
don't think we need to go double punt here, because there's some really bad guys that you could put in the back if you try to get three in. I mean, you can mathematically do it, but it's ugly.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say the strategy is probably to pick and choose between guys like Logano, Elliott, and Truex. Try to pick the dominator and then drop down into your, low tens, 9K range. Maybe get some place differential. Maybe get some sneaky drivers that you think can come from the back that actually lead laps, things like that, and then start to fizzle out the rest of your lineup with some value plays. Next up, we have Ryan Newman at 6,800. Any interest in Ryan Newman? This is a track he's drove at well before, but I'm kind of feeling
How
like he's
long
a
ago?
little too.
I just
Yeah, it's too
he's,
far ahead of
he's
for
kind of
me.
a shell of himself. The one thing I'll say about Ryan Newman is that he's so hard to pass.
Yeah,
So I think he's able to maintain position, but it's once we hit the competition caution or any other cautions and they
right,
pit, he doesn't have a horrible pit team, but I think some other teams are better. So I think
right.
that, we'll start slowly like pushing him down. So I think he'll get out there and he'll keep his nose clean. But then again, I think this is a track where aerodynamics don't matter and that people will use their bumper to move him out of the way. And I think, there probably are some impatient guys that will
Oh yeah,
eventually get behind him that might force the issue and move him if he doesn't move himself.
right. Very well could be this next driver or the driver, but after him, Kevin Harvick at 9,600. Any love for the 14?
No, I think he's going to go backwards. He's intermediate track. He's definitely one that I consider highly short track. I mean, throughout his 50-year history in NASCAR, or whatever it's been. I'm just exaggerating, but he has had some times where he's been good on short track, but when you've been in NASCAR that long, you've had good time periods on every track possible.
Exactly.
He's had periods where you're a good road racer, a period of good short track, intermediate, super speedway. So I mean, once you've had the long celebrated career like he has, but I don't know if they don't nail the setup. The same thing as Hamlin. I like the pricing that's under 10K, but
yeah, that's pricing's looks like it's baiting me in.
Yeah,
96.
I'm not going to take it. No, if he beats me, he beats me, but definitely not in FanDuel. He's 10K there, so. But
yeah, top 5 will pay off Harvick's 9,600 from his starting position.
Go for
by
it.
End of the,
Go for it.
By
And
the end of
head
the
to head.
No, Harvick's had really bad setups this year. Him and Riding Childers haven't been a really good duo this year, which is surprising. Really is. I thought, after the season that Harvick had last year, I know it kind of didn't play out the way he wanted it, but yeah, it just has been really bad this year. No speed out of that.
And it might be a case where like they got the whole COVID thing quicker than anybody, but everybody else has had so much time to catch up and figure it out that they've lost their competitive advantage.
Sure. Yeah, that could very well be it. Keselowski at 11K. Another Penske car. I think he's dominated this race before. I don't think he's going to have the same kind of race this year. But
I think he might have been the one, and we'll have to look it up, maybe throw in the comments. If it was the 19 race, that might have been the high downforce one where you couldn't pass, and that definitely would help. But he's hot and cold in these races. Sometimes he's like super good and he's like out there and we're like, why didn't I pick Brad Keselowski? I should have considered him. And then there's other times where it's just like, he's there. He's always going to be in top 10. I think the pricing,
it's the price tag.
Third highest is kind of hard to eat. So I can see him in cash. He's going to be one of the ones that I sprinkle into my Dominator mix, but he's not going to be, he's going to be like the 20 max entry guy that's in my rotation of studs. He's not going to be a primary cash guy.
Yeah. If you're building multiple lineups, just throw like 10, 15% at him and then let it be as that, because the 11K price tag is just really high. And I think Elliot and Truex, Logano, they have a better opportunity to lead laps. And I'm not sure if Keselowski, maybe by race end, Keselowski can get in there stage 2 and start, really taking over as a dominator. So that's probably his path, but it's going to take a while to get there. So I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. Next up, we have Daniel Suarez at 5,900. You keep fading Suarez, he keeps making you look bad.
I know. I'm gonna fade him again. I like that race, but I can see him as like a very decent he is going to be like the Brett Moffitt was in the race today, where he's probably not going to pay. He's not running for a championship, so like he's out there to win this and not get stage points. So when all the other guys right before the competition caution, or he pits a little bit earlier than everybody else, so that when the field resets, like he might be one of the ones that's out there and we're like, Daniel Suarez, he's leading the race, why didn't we think of him? But then he just slowly starts to fade back, and the cream rises back to the top, and all is right in the world again.
I don't know. I kind of like this 5,900 price tag for Suarez. I know, with that different kind of pit strategy, he's going to get lead laps. He could probably not get many fast laps if he's on old tires. But yeah, I could see another finish where he started kind of outcome for Suarez, and that's kind of what he's been doing. And Trackhouse is a decent team.
Yeah,
Justin Marks has really done well with this team, and I don't know. I'm a sucker for it now because it's worked out for me. Next up, we have Kurt Busch at
but you're sending me your Keselowski Suarez head to head.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to build this like line.
Yeah,
my guys versus your guys.
And post Busch. Oh God, Kyle Busch at 9,800.
He's always a GPP.
Yeah. Just I think that's perfect. GPP play. Don't think too hard about it.
He's below 10K too, so I mean we're starting to get to the range where You know, it's not like you're paying like 11.5 for him for a GPP.
Exactly.
The potential is always there. So
I think he's a great driver too, to
yeah,
be
and the
honest.
longer the race, the better. Like we've always
Yeah.
said that. Like he was one that like is like the mad scientist and likes to get the car dialed in, and the longer you leave him out there on the track, the better he gets.
And the fact that he's starting at this starting position with the price tag that he has sets up for a recipe for disaster for me, because I'm going to have way too much Kyle Busch. So I exactly know what's going to happen. He's going to get turned around and wrecked. And he's going to be flipping people off and swearing on his radioactive. So I can't wait to hear it. But no, I'm really love Kyle Busch this week. I think he's going to be fantastic. I'm going to lump the next like 6 drivers together because they're all similar in proximity and price tag, and they're all similar in starting position. We have Tyler Reddick, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, Eric Jones, Ryan Preece, and Austin Dillon. They range from 77 to 55. Just give me a brief rundown of who your favorite plays are in this little pocket.
Well, Michael McDowell is going to be right up there behind Daniel Suarez after the the pit strategy one, where we're like, oh wow, these guys are leading the race, and then you know the leaders will eventually get back up there. I think Buescher and Preece are cheap enough that if you want to throw them out there, you know, I think maybe if you need people in that price range, they're not bad. You're talking like 56 and 64. So I'd prefer them over some of the bottom feeders. If you're trying to squeeze some higher price guys in, if you're going up with a couple, like if you take like all 3 10K guys. So if you go like Logano, Hamlin, and Blaney, and then, you know, you throw a couple of these guys in, then you can get like another like mid-range guy, like probably around 7K or so. So I can see it. I don't think it's necessary, but I don't hate it. Probably the biggest fade again would be McDowell. Again, he's better.
I'm not interested in Reddick either. I think he's a fade.
Yeah, 75. That's a little too high for him too.
Too volatile for me.
There's only one really groove at this track. He's better at multi-groove tracks where you can get like that high line, and that high line doesn't look like it works at this track.
No, this is not a good setup for Reddick. I think
we didn't get a chance to get to a point where like they had a lot of rubber laid down in the track. You know, they called the track green like almost all night, and then it rained and it, you know, rinsed it out. So 500 laps, maybe another groove develops, but then again, we're speculating a lot here. It's not worth the price. If he was like 65, maybe consider it, but it's about 1,000.
It's going to be out of my reach in salary for my constructions. So Reddick, McDowell out. I'm in on Busch. I might be out on Eric Jones. I haven't seen anything from him. Preece is cheap enough. I like that play. And then I'm probably out on Austin Dillon. I don't know what kind of history he has here. I know his haircut looks like trash. I seen it last night in the broadcast, but that's all I have on Austin.
I don't even know what he was wearing. He looked like he just
was like
from he got married at the Elvis Chapel in Vegas or something.
He's an interesting character. Wife is hot though. I mean, I give him that. He's always going to be winning in life as long as she's around. But all right,
he's got money.
Hey, right. Kyle Larson at 11.7.
Now this one I really struggle with. On FanDuel, I like it because you have enough like lower salary guys that you can get 3 high price guys in. So I would probably take my Elliott and my Logano or Truex, like between those 3 guys, and I can still get like I'll take 2 of the 3, and then I'll put Larson in to get place differential. He's struggled at these types of tracks, so this is probably the worst type of track for him. But then again, like he's really seemed to have grown, and it doesn't favor it like dirt racers. This is like, you know, more like road course racers that it favors. So like his skill set doesn't transfer here, but he's very talented. He's got a good car, but it's 11.7. So am I gonna play
the price tag sucks?
Yeah, so DK, I think I'm out. GPP, possibly. FanDuel, I think he's going to be very high in cash games because I think you can get him in with 2 studs. So I might take him there as just kind of the block.
See, I think people, and I hope people, get baited into thinking that place differential is going to matter and they're going to think, oh, I have to get Kyle Larson, and then I have to get my dominator. And they're just going to miss out on finishing position. And I don't think Kyle Larson's going to finish well. I think top 15 is definitely in the mix. Like, he's going to pass McDowell, Reddick, some of these other drivers.
Right. The guy behind him is 2,500 less and has and it's a teammate. And has a much better chance of doing what we want Kyle Larson to do, but it saves you $2,500.
Yeah, and then that gets you from someone like Anthony Alfredo to like your 70. Who was 70? We'll get to a guy we'll get
like
to
Bubba
later.
Wallace, 73.
I was gonna say Bubba too.
His favorite track.
Yeah, it's his favorite track. I'm all in on Bubba, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, I like Kyle Larson as a driver, as a talented driver. I don't like his price tag. I think that sets up for a recipe for disaster unless he can lead laps. I would throw him, if you had 150 lineups or 20 max, maybe throw him in 2 and 20 max and then 5% in 150, just to make sure, hey, okay, what if Kyle Larson for some reason gets up front and starts leading laps, because then he's dangerous, because Kyle Larson does not give up the lead. We've seen him dominate races like that before. So you alluded to it, but while we were talking about Larson, you have Alex Bowman at 92, and you also have Kurt Busch at 8,900. These really two drivers I like a lot. Yeah, these are driver 2s, driver 3s. Try to squeeze them in my lineup.
I prefer Kurt Busch just based on his like history. Like, he's been a decent short track driver.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like Alex Bowman, but I would prefer Busch. He's only saving me $300, but I think that, and it's one place differential point, but I think Kurt Busch is one that could have like a different strategy and get up here and lead. He's trying for championship, so he's trying for that too. But I think that they could do some creative things to take some chances to get him up there to lead some of the laps.
Yeah, I like Kurt Busch a lot. Next up, we have Matt DiBenedetto and Christopher Bell, 78 and 84. 2 other drivers. I don't think these price tags are bad on this place.
No, I love DiBenedetto. He's a Penske extension. They seem to have this figured out. He's 78. Like, definitely, like, he's cheaper on. Well, most people are cheaper on DK and FanDuel, but like, it looks like there's more of a discrepancy there in pricing. So I guess 85, 78, but I like him in cash. I think, he's in that 7,000 range of somebody definitely that we can consider if you can get to him. Bell, I think, is more of a GPP. Like, he's got a Gibbs car. So again, we don't know how much notes he's the rookie here. So is he a rookie or is it a second year?
Second year. He probably wrote.
Okay. So he's a younger driver here.
95 last year, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's new to this team. So, I think some of the guys are probably trying to help him out because, to help the team succeed.
Now, he did win the road course earlier this year. So there is some trend, some correlation there. I don't mind Christopher Bell.
Again, it's the price tag. And again, it's 84. It's not horrible.
It's not going to kill you.
No,
it's either him or Kurt Busch.
Yeah, GPP, cash, last man in. If I'm around, if I have like 8,500 left, then okay, take them.
Yeah. Next guy I'm out on probably forever. Chase Briscoe, 6,100, does not look like he's driving well.
Just his Xfinity numbers were outstanding here. Like on short track.
I'm not buying it. I'm not getting suckered in this week.
Okay, then he's going in my head-to-head. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't
stand this guy. I can't stand this guy. He doesn't run inside the top 20 ever. I never see him inside the top 20.
Right. But again, that goes back to a discussion a couple of weeks ago where it seems like besides Kevin Harvick, how much are like some of these mid-range teams focusing on trying to win this year, knowing that we have a new Cup car coming out next year. Stewart-Haas Racing is like decently funded, but they're not Gibbs, they're not Childress. So, maybe we see them go after a couple races this year, but then the rest of them, let's just get through the season and then let's start, looking to build to the future with these young drivers that we have and invest in that. So
I don't even see anyone from Stewart Haas taking test runs in these next gen cars either. I don't know what's going on with this team. I'm really concerned with their team. And I don't know. I think I'm out on Briscoe. I'm not buying it. I'd rather play like a Priest, even though he's starting up higher. I like Busher more instead. And then there's another guy behind him, Bubba Wallace, probably going to be my highest owned driver tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, like he's in the sweet spot. 25,
Perfect.
73. This is his favorite track. Doesn't mean that it's his best track statistically.
Well, you have to think that the team knows, okay, this is Bubba's best chance.
Yes.
We got to throw everything in the kitchen sink into this race. Right. And I think Jordan, Denny know it, and they're going to throw Bubba a really good car. Bubba's going to race it really well. Yeah, I'm going to be the biggest Bubba Wallace fan tomorrow. Oh, tonight, because I'm saying tomorrow because I don't think they get the race in tonight. But yeah, tonight, I think Bubba Wallace is going to be a primetime driver tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
Next, we have Cole Custer, who's a little bit better version of Chase Briscoe.
Yes. Nailed it. I don't.
He's a $900 better version of
yeah, whatever.
I think I can see him in cash.
If I land on him a few times, fine.
Yeah, FanDuel, he's not bad either. He's like 6,000, and just looking at the builds, like that's kind of the sweet spot of like where you're going to land with most of them. So Briscoe is 57. So there's a $300 difference on FanDuel, but there's a $900 difference here. So
yeah. I like Ross Chastain here at 6,300. I'd take him over Briscoe or Custer.
Ross Chastain is an absolute lock on FanDuel. He is 3,500.
Whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow. You can fit everything after that.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to use him. Ross Chastain, like I said, your two studs, Larson, and then figure out who you're going to throw in for your fifth guy.
Yeah. That's a free square. That sounds like a great cash.
Yeah, you have to. Even though he might be aggressive and stuff and spin out here.
I mean, look at his starting.
But we saw like one of the probably the highest owned drivers for value in Xfinity because he was the cheapest play. Yesterday was a Buford, I think.
Yaley's at start was we're talking dumpsters. Yeah, Buford was like 5K.
Yeah, he started 30th. He spun out. He got shoved back to like 39th, but he got back up to like 30th probably within like 10 laps.
Yeah.
So if Chastain spins out and we're talking like he's starting 27th, there's only 37 cars I think in this race. So even if he goes back to 37th, he's still going to get ahead of like Cody Ware and Josh Bilicki and Quinn Hoff and can potentially get back to, and if there's a little bit of damage, like you really have to like do something really stupid to get out of this race.
Yeah. Your right rear quarter panel could be a little bit of an issue because it's going to take a beating all night long.
Right.
Heading into the corners, but other than that, there's not much you could do to this car other than like a massive tire rub.
Yeah, these look like open modified by the end of it. Just cut the sheet metal off if it's causing you trouble.
Exactly.
Just continue to roll. Just all you need is like your engine and your roll cage, and you're
pretty much. Yeah, I like Chastain and Bubba a lot. They're going to be in a lot of my lineups along with Di Benedetto. Those are my favorite value plays.
His car might look like a dune buggy by the end, but
Yaley, Huff, Haley, any love for those three?
No.
Maybe Haley.
Maybe Haley only because he did race in Xfinity, and unfortunately they'll finish it after this race is run, but maybe not. It's like the whole dirt track again. Like, are these guys going to get experience before they have to race in Cup? But yes, they are. No, they're not. Yes, they will. Okay, they did. Yeah.
2 weeks later, we're doing the same song and dance.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable. We have Almirola 8,100. Another Stewart Haas.
On DK, I have him as one of my prime players, chalk, and pretty much a cash lock. If you want this differential, here's where to get it. They've just had some bad luck this year, but I think he definitely can get up into the top 20, probably top 15. He's He's one not as much as a priority on FanDuel because, like I said, you got to throw Chastain in there. You got to take 3 guys up top, and if Almirola fits with his salary, then he's the final guy in. But I think
DK makes a lot of sense.
But I think you end up with in the 8K, so you're probably more apt to take like a Di Benedetto or somebody. Actually, I think you could get up to Bowman. I think you have like 9K left with that strategy there, so it's pretty easy to build that. But if you want to go a little bit different and you want to fade Chastain and you think that he is going to spin out and get into the wall or something and break an axle and not be able to continue, then go Almirola and like a Kurt Busch, and that's gonna. And if the chalk fails, then you have so much leverage on the field that it's definitely going to help.
Yeah. Where Bilicki, LaJoy?
LaJoy, I can see.
Yeah. I had LaJoy maybe on my maybe list. Alfredo McLeod. Yeah.
No. Alfredo maybe just like he's a good driver.
38.
Decent team. You gotta think he's gotta get like 5 spots before he wrecks. So
I'm waiting for him for Talladega. I want him to keep having bad results, so then when Talladega rolls around, he can use them super speedway skills to do pretty well for us. That's my hope. I'm gonna have some shares for sure, but nothing overweight,
Right. I think if you're going the double punt, like I think LaJoy and Alfredo is the way to go. Like where Bilicki, I mean, I know we've typed up Bilicki, but he just he's finishing races this year, but not competitively. So he just doesn't have the speed. BJ McLeod scares me. James Davidson, another rare car,
39th or whatever.
I know, 37th. Yeah, he can't go anywhere but backward or go.
Yeah, the 15 car can be better than others, and he's a decent short track driver, so it makes some sense. I mean, if you could, I wouldn't expect much other than 32nd place finish. That'd be what you were playing for, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, if you need it, take it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that will wrap it up for the driver breakdown. Thank you, Mega, for joining me this morning before you head off to a nice fun day at work.
Yep.
I'm building a basketball hoop today and doing lawn duties, so it's not going to be much of a joyful day as well before I get the rain gets here for all of us. All right. Well, that'll wrap things up. Yep. And go ahead. Anything else to add? Sorry, I'm getting texts and I can't keep reading them. I'm getting sidetracked.
No. We'll see everybody. I forget where they're racing next week. I know Talladega's in 2 weeks, but
Richmond.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Another short track.
Yeah, and I think we have all 3 series going. So possibly. So Jeff, check us out next week, and we'll have more content for you. And good luck today, and hopefully we get these races in before Tuesday.
Amen to that, brother. All right, everyone, have a good day, and we'll see you next week.